Hello and welcome to another episode of That Man and His Merchandise. Well, manga anyway. And today we're going to talk about the Promised Neverland ending. Or at least it's going to end. In a recent interview with the creator, they actually said that the series was on its final arc. This was an interview for the anime because the anime is starting next season. I say next season, winter season, which is like next year, and it's gonna be great. Watch it. And yeah, he said the series is now on its final arc, and that's thrown a lot of people out for a spin because it's a hugely popular series. A lot of the first things people would say is like, "Oh, it's been cancelled." And I was like, "Oh no, no. The opposite. It's Promised Neverland is doing extremely well for Jump at the moment. If anything, I would say there's more likely chance of My Hero Academia being cancelled before Promised Neverland at this current point. But that's another story for a different day. And yeah, the series is doing really, really well. When we looked at some of the top, I think it was top 20 or top 50 properties in Japan for multimedia, Promised Neverland was on there despite not having an anime adaptation or any kind of extra content. It was literally the manga sales were doing well for itself rather than anything else. And it's great to see such a great series doing that. If you haven't seen Promised Neverland, or if you don't know anything about it, it's essentially about this house in this orphanage, and the children of the orphanage are raised to be the smartest. They're going to be the best at what they can do, and then there's a horrible secret that comes out, and so the children discover what the true intention is for the orphanage. And yeah, we'll keep it at that because people who in the know it, but if the people who don't, honestly, it is absolutely fantastic. And I've previously said, and I often say, that is this series is pretty much one of the best in Jump at the moment. I would say this, along with stuff like Doctor Stone and obviously One Piece and stuff like that, are absolutely on the top of the game. So why is it ending? The reason being is because it was always planned to end like this. They planned to have around 100 chapters, and because it got popular, they thought they'd drag it out and have about 150 chapters. That's perfectly fine. I mean, sometimes at the end of the day, if you plan something out, stuff needs to be added in, stuff needs to continue on, stuff needs to be emphasised, and we get longer series because of that. Nothing wrong with that. And it's nice to see someone sticking with the guns and saying, look, this is going to end in this date, it's going to end in these amount of chapters, because otherwise we get stuff that's bloated, we get stuff that continues for the sake of continuing. Naruto and Bleach, I feel, outstayed their welcome for quite some time. Fairy Tail outstayed its welcome for a long time and probably should have been ended. I know Fairy Tail's back again, another story for a different day, because I've got some opinions on that one as well. And yeah, we saw this with stuff like Death Note and Assassination Classroom, in that they ended despite being really popular, and they ended when they should have ended. I know Assassination Classroom had a little bit more to it when things kind of went on. They were like, well, yeah, but it kind of felt like it ended when it should have. It didn't drag on for ages. I think if it was ongoing now, I would still be a little bit. It depends on how the quality is. At the end of the day, I mean, as much as I love One Piece, a lot of people feel that should have ended by now. That's outstayed its welcome. I'm mixed. Again, Oda keeps saying that it's due to end. It's like this amount through it, and it's like, but more things keep getting added, and it's hard to see. At the end of the day, we know that this is on Promised Neverland is on a final arc. We don't know how long this arc is going to be. For all we know, it could be another 100 chapters. We might get another 2 years out of it. At the way it's going, I'm probably going to say we're going to have it ended around 150 chapters. The way it's going, we're kind of saying that it could go on for longer, but I genuinely don't think it will. And honestly, I'm more for it. I want to see a series end when it should, rather, like I said, rather than dragging out. And it's a great series, so let it end while it's good. And that seems to be the general consensus. I'm not seeing anybody turn around and go, well, I want it to go on for a lot longer than it should. And maybe this is because the series hasn't... It's popular, but it's popular with manga readers. And it's not got the fandom that other series do, where they're kind of kicking and screaming on every single thing. Not going to name any names. In other news, the My Hero Academia series, that was another one that was kind of mentioned a few months back. He said that he only planned it for it to be about 20 volumes or so, but because it got popular and he had more ideas for other characters, he said, oh, well, we'll have more stuff for this and we'll have more stuff for that. And, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I mean, the end of the day, My Hero Academia is... I feel a lot of the characters have been woefully underdeveloped for that one. And yeah, if that means we get something like the Mineta arc or the Shoji arc and stuff like that, I'm all for it, because at the end of the day, there's quite a lot of people in the class who haven't had enough development, in as far as I'm concerned. And if we're getting stuff like that, brilliant. The end of the day is if it starts getting to be a bit too ploddy, where they're just adding stuff because it's popular, we don't want that. I'd rather it be him creating what he wants to create, rather than going, well, I need to have this at now. This is supposed to end in volume 30, but now I'm going to have to end it on volume 50. We don't want that. And even My Hero Academia is kind of coming to a point where we can say, well, we're kind of dealing with a lot of the stuff. And once we start dealing with the main villains and stuff like that, we're kind of going to be seeing an end to that. So, again, another one I'm enjoying that I want to see ended when it should end, rather than go on forever. And I'm sure a lot of people won't agree with that. I'm sure a lot of people are wanting to have 40 or 50 volumes for My Hero Academia, but no, personally, I can see it. I don't think we'd get everything done in another 10 volumes. So I think 35, maybe 40 at a stretch. But at this point, I don't feel like there's enough built up to continue. But then again, there hasn't been a huge amount of world building on the scale of something like One Piece, where One Piece has got so many things to tie up compared to My Hero Academia. It's kind of on a different scale, really, isn't it? So yeah, so at the end of the day, Promised Neverland, My Hero Academia, anything that needs to end when it should, let it end. Don't pad stuff out for the sake of being a long-running series and having these awards and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, as much as you can get awards, people do get fatigued by stuff. One Piece is almost impossible for a lot of new people into anime to get into. Even the manga, it's like people see the amount of chapters and they're like, I'm not ready for that kind of commitment. And yeah, unfortunately, that's why things don't take off. This is why the One Piece fandom's kind of shrinking. And I mean, One Piece is still doing amazingly well. It's still doing ridiculously well, and it should. But we can see the dropping off because the people who are reading it are getting older. They might not be able to afford to drop down money for volumes. They've got other things in their life and stuff like that. So yeah, One Piece is kind of gonna... I think One Piece is gonna end when it should end. However, I think One Piece is gonna be a Dragon Ball situation, in that it'll just kind of come back with One Piece GX or One Piece Super with the kids and stuff like that, and I really don't want that to happen. I feel like that's what's going to happen, because I don't think they're going to let One Piece die when it's finished. Or I think they're just going to milk it as much as they can. Kind of like how they've done with Naruto and stuff like that. Bleach didn't get that, though. Bleach kind of died, and they were kind of like, yeah. I mean, the fandom's still pretty dedicated for it, but yeah. But anyways, this went off on a tangent. Promised Neverland ending. As far as I'm concerned, it's great. I'm going to miss it, but it's ending when it should. And that's it from me. Thanks for coming, and thanks again. Goodbye. Did you enjoy that? Well, We've got some other stuff on the site if you want to have a little bit of look. Nendoroids, gaming, One Piece merchandise, it's all kind of there. So if you click around here, you'll be able to subscribe or at least have a look on the channel. Also, there's some other things just around here. Thanks for coming and thanks again. Goodbye.